Right. Third recording, because I keep thinking of more things as we go through, then I'm like, oh shit, that changes the way I think, and then it's like a completely different tone. So, hello everyone, my name is Ardetha, welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at the nerfs. So, just a quick overall overview for the general player base. I know a lot of you are coming here because you're like, oh shit, nerfs, I wonder what's going to happen when Ardetha sees them. When I first saw them, I was actually like, yo, this is fine. Sure. We'll roll with it. All right. Other people were going mental, and I was like, I don't see the issues, you know, this is fine. And then I've recorded the video, and then I've gone into depth with like different scenarios, and I've been like, oh, this is terrible. So, the overview is, they acknowledge that her add-ons made her completely over the top. So they have updated her add-ons to be more fair, and some of them have been unusable for her, so they made all her add-ons at least usable. And her add-ons didn't sort of sync up with all the other add-ons that we have in the game. Like, she didn't have really ultra res or any of that shit. So they've updated her add-ons to fit the consistency for the rest of the game. And the other huge thing is they have actually nerfed her base kit, despite everyone knowing that the add-ons have always been the problem. And the base kit nerf is the silliest way to go about it that I could have actually thought of, which was adding a cooldown to her ability. Because the reason that I think it's silly is because no one enjoys cooldowns on their killers. It's just not fun to play with. It's really not fun to play with at all. And whether or not the killer's power is strong enough to justify it, maybe their power does justify it, but it's just not fun. And video games, at the end of the day, are made for fun, especially this game. This is a casual game. This isn't an esports game, even though we're, you know, some of us try to take it seriously. We just can't. It's not a serious game at all. So that is the overview for you guys. We've got some add-on changes. The only way you can get an additional blink is for an ultra rare, which means you can't blink through walls. This shouldn't be an ultra rare. This downside is terrible, terrible, terrible. Ultra rares, like, we're talking like insta-heal on survivors, you know, septic agent or syringes. They don't have a downside. That is god mode fucking instantly, right? And then this is like, yeah, you get another blink, but you can't blink through walls. It's terrible. Anyway, so that is it. There are some actually really fun and interesting add-ons, and I really look forward to trying those out, by the way, guys. I'm not going to go through all of them because I actually am quite tight for time here. I do have to get to work soon, and I want to get this video out for you guys. If you want to read up on it, I will link it in the description below. But most of this video from now on is going to be for behavior, because I know they actually care about what their community says, and I think of all people, they probably would want to hear what is going on from this channel, because this is a largely nurse channel. This is, you know, we've done the definitive nurse guide, and we've done a lot of nurse gameplay. And I just want to say to anyone from behavior that's watching right now, I know a lot of people are going mental right now. A lot of people are, you know, giving you a lot of shit and all that. This isn't going to be like that. This is going to be, you know, critical and try to be helpful for you. So first we need to identify why the nurse needed nerfs. As we already did identify here, it was her add-ons. Additional blinks were ridiculous. It made the nurse not get punished for misplaying and left survivors with no opportunity to avoid blinks whatsoever. So we've, you know, gotten rid of them, which is good. And the other one that you've identified was the extended range blinks, and that was only because they traveled really fast and gave her immense amount of map pressure. So I think they've gotten rid of additional blink ranges altogether. That being said, we can reduce our blink range. That being said, all they had to do was keep the blink ranges in and make them travel slower. Whatever, add-ons are fine. It's base kit that you know, Nurse has always been playable base kit, and that is why she's been sort of good. So I want to identify now why these changes might have been made. So they've said that they've been very transparent. They said that they've given her a cooldown so survivors have more opportunity to, you know, break line of sight and hide when the nurse has blinked, which is fair enough. I like that thought. It's objective, it's to the point, and, you know, you're trying to deal with the issue head on. Now, the reason I think adding a cooldown is the worst way to go about it, well, there are loads of reasons actually. First of which is because it's really unfun. It's a video game, we're meant to have fun. That's not fun to play as. Even if the power is justifiable, it's just not fun. Additionally, we need to think about the domino effect. because this game is very simple, and it's very easy to overlook the things that can actually occur from a small change like this, because the game's so simple that you don't really think about the nitty-gritties. So let's look at this. First thing that comes to mind of a cooldown is map pressure. The nurse is 96.25% movement speed. At least she was. I don't know if they've changed it. Or at least that's off the top of my head. I might be wrong by 1% or 2%. That is slower than survivors. She doesn't get any, she's not going to be able to walk the map. Rafe's got his new mode, so I guess it's not a good example. Who is a failure? Bubba will have a lot in terms of movement speed, right? Because he can just walk across the map. Nurse is 90%. And with her blinks having a 5-second cooldown, she can't really scour the map very well. I know her map pressure was kind of, crazy before, but this is a bit overkill now. Because she'll blink twice, and she'll get a bit of range, a bit of map coverage from that, which is good. And then she'll be in fatigue for she'll be in fatigue for 1.5 seconds if she uses both of her blinks, and then she'll be on cooldown for a further 4.5 seconds. So 4.5 seconds of just being, forced to walk is actually huge in a game where gens are done in 3 minutes. That is huge, 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 huge. So she loses map pressure, and then what happens? Let's say she blinks. She blinks across the map and finds someone. Cool, she's found a survivor. She has to blink to find people, by the way. She's too slow to walk. She has to find them. So you've blinked, you see a survivor, they start running. You go into fatigue. You're 96.25% movement speed, they're 4% faster than you. You go into fatigue, you're even slower. That's it. They've gotten a lot of distance on you already. You're probably going to have to use both your blinks to catch up, in which you won't get a hit. Let's say you do get a hit though. Okay, you've gone into fatigue, same shit as always. They've got a massive on-hit burst. They are now halfway across the map. You are walking at 96% movement speed for a further 5 seconds and cannot blink to catch up to them. Once you have hit them and they've just ran in a straight line, they don't have to break line of sight. Once they've ran in a straight line, you will not catch up to them with both your blinks. You will have to do another blink cycle. And then, it might take 2 or 3 blink cycles to actually catch up to them for that second hit. And then what happens? They dodge your hit because they're a good survivor and they can juke well. Well, shit. You can't do anything for a further 5 seconds, right? So you go into fatigue for another 1.5 seconds, or 2.5 seconds if you miss a swing, or swing at all, in fact. So that's even worse than in that previous instance, right? When you hit them, you're in fatigue for 2.5 seconds. Holy shit! And you're even slower than 96% movement speed when you're in fatigue, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but either way, that's how it is normally, right? That's plenty of time to hide. What I'm trying to get at here is that with these changes, you will not be able to kill anyone with nerfs. You will be able to injure people if you're having a good day, but you will not be able to kill a survivor that holds W. Maybe they run around a corner and you blink around the corner and hit them. That's their fault for just staying close. What I'm saying here is that Nurse's lethality hasn't just been reduced a bit, she doesn't have lethality anymore. They need to increase her base movement speed if they want any chance of this working. Because you will, go through that cooldown, that fatigue, and then you'll have to use it again to catch up, then again to catch up, and then you do it to hit. Okay, then they're halfway across the map. I'm afraid this can't work. Obviously we haven't tried it yet, so it's early days. But just reading from this, it can't work against top tier survivors. And it's going to be hard to catch these issues because I don't have top tier survivors at hand. I know Useless, he's always available, but I can't get in a match with 4 Uselesses to try this out. So what's going on? Basically, it's going to be hard to catch us off in a PTB, but if we look at this game from a deep mechanical level, we understand the amount of distance they can get from an on-hit burst and how slow the nurse is. This change to her base kit just can't happen, I'm afraid, guys. I'm not saying this is the, I'm not going, this is ridiculous, this is so dumb. I like it, it's objective, it's to the point, but unfortunately, with the other sort of nuances that go on with the nerfs plus on-hit bursts, it's just not possible. The only way you're going to win on nerfs with this would be the game now. And this is someone who used to take, Leary's nerfs and shred people without perks. This is someone who literally has done everything you can imagine with the nerfs. His theory crafted every little thing, has an extremely deep mechanical understanding and theoretical understanding of the nerfs. This, I don't believe it can work. Obviously, we do need to try it out, and I'm not going to hate on behavior for this because it is actually a logical change. I know we say logical change as a meme because of, what they've done to the pig, but it is logical. At first glance, it's logical, but if you really take a moment to think about it, it's just can't happen. It's just can't happen. Yummy! It just can't happen. The add-on changes, however, they mostly seem really, really nice. I actually really want to use the Nitcomb. If I can get good of Nitcomb, then I will feel like fucking supreme. It'll be a fun challenge. That being said, we will have to try it out, but I'm thinking it can't happen. I remain optimal, and hopeful, optimistic. I remain optimistic, and I want to try it out. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Additionally, right, so if any players have stuck through this, then I just want to give you a little bit more insight as to what you can expect if this goes live. If this goes live, you will see nurses every match for a while, whilst people try it out, which is going to happen when a killer gets changed. And then the only time you'll ever see a nurse is either someone who doesn't know what they're doing, someone who's just trying to have a laugh, or you're against a streamer / YouTuber who's trying to do something clickbaity. Because this is very niche, very troll, very, oh, look at me, I'm doing no lunge nurse, ooh. She's not going to be, used to win if this goes through. Spirit will be played every match at rank 1 once matchmaking's fixed. I think nurses won't be a very common thing to see. You'll still see nurse more commonly than Michael or Bubba or Legion at high ranks, but it's not going to be common at all. You'll see spirits predominantly every match from now on. But to wrap things up, guys, thank you for watching. Please give your input below, because once again, I haven't tried anything out, and although neither of you have either, you might have some different thoughts, you might have some different insights that I haven't looked into here, which could be a good way to counter it, to counteract some of the things I've said. I know some of the add-ons reduce the recharge time, but you shouldn't have to rely on these two add-ons. It's going to be, you play nurse with the tactic respiration, or what is it? That one, Fragile Wheeze, sorry. Fragile Wheeze and the other one that stacks with it. There's two of them. One of them's 20%. Oh, there you go. Dark Cincture and Fragile Wheeze. You do that, or you don't play her at all. And that is a bit silly. Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now though, guys.